Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new Sensibility podcast interview. Today, my two guests are Agnese Porcari and Stefan. I'm not going to get your surname. Do you want to just say your name for me?
Stefano Pacucci.
Pacucci.
Pacucci. Yeah, you got it.
Stefano, okay.
Very well.
So Agnese and Stefano are both Italian Feldenkrais practitioners. They, as you can see from the lovely scenery behind them, they are currently in Italy. I believe involved in a training currently. So enjoying
Correct.
a very relaxed atmosphere after training all day, I guess. The reason we've reached out to Agnes and Stefano today is because they um, they introduced a really interesting idea to do with adaptability in connection with the Feldenkrais method in relation to partner work. Um, so often within awareness through movement lessons, they are kind of something that you're experiencing by yourself. But Agnes and Stefano have developed some ideas around working with another person within awareness through movement lessons that has some inherent advantages in terms of developing adaptability. So thank you both for coming on to talk to me today. It's
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
lovely to speak to you both. Perhaps before we start, could you take a moment just to introduce yourselves and give people some idea about your background in Feldenkrais and maybe even before that, like what led you into Feldenkrais?
You want to start?
Yes, I'll go. I'm Stefano, born in Genova, in Italy. Um let's go straight forward to now. I'll travel the world to now I know to get to know myself and get to to know how I work, how I am, what can I do. And by traveling, I found a movement practice that really changed the way I see the world, the way I see myself, the way I see life itself. That it's connected in a way to the Feldenkrais method. And following that path, that was like 8 years ago, um, I felt the urge to get to know how I function, how to function better, how to move myself in a easier way because I want to do this. I want to move as much as possible till the last day of this thing we call life. And if I can do it in an easier way, letting go of effort, unnecessary effort, that sounds really great to me.
Mm.
And that's how you got to the Feldenkrais
Yeah,
method.
that's how I got to the Feldenkrais method. Yeah.
The way was much shorter for me. I was born in a Feldenkrais family. Both my parents are Feldenkrais practitioners.
Mm.
And actually, being born in a Feldenkrais family for some time, it took me away from the method because I had too much, way too much. It was Feldenkrais every day, everywhere, at any moment. But then life and probably movement brought me back to the Feldenkrais method. I've been practicing it for, uh, let's say, since 2011, I think. I became a Feldenkrais practitioner in 2023, so quite recently.
Mm.
And what Feldenkrais is for me the way to be myself the best way I can in the moment. Every moment changes every day. I'm a different me, but with awareness and paying attention to how I feel in relation to myself, in relation to other people and the world, I somehow find my best way to be. So that's not how I got to the Feldenkrais method because that wasn't really a choice, but that's how I choose to practice Feldenkrais every day, every moment.
Mm. I think that, I mean, obviously, I've done a number of interviews with people, and that theme of getting to know yourself and being more of yourself comes up again and again and again when I speak to people.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's nice to hear that echoed. You mentioned there about kind of the process of Feldenkrais about getting to know yourself, but you highlighted that it's also about getting to know yourself in relation to others. So that kind of ties in with this idea of this workshop in the way that I understand it. But it would be great to hear from both of you about some of your ideas about this concept of adaptability and how we as human beings can develop or improve our ability to adapt to our environment or our life events.
So something that we thought about and we feel the same
Mhm.
is that adaptability is innate in the human being.
Yeah.
We are the only species that can live anywhere in this world. There are no other species that can actually live anywhere. So it's something that it's typical of the human being. We can adapt to anything. Then there is this double-edged sword that if we know what we are doing, we are gonna adapt and evolve in a good way that is good for us. Or if we are not aware, we can adapt to anything actually. Like also something that it's dangerous for ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's the main take from us on adaptability. That's, you know, even if you don't train adaptability, you have it. There's people eating junk food every day and still living a decent life. There's people spending half of their life hunched over and being in a very effortful position and not knowing. That's about adaptability. Somehow at some point they started to adapt in a specific way, they just didn't realize. So I think what we can really work with and work on is how we relate to our ability to adapt, so that we, by becoming more aware of how we feel and how we act in the world, we can actually choose what we adapt to.
Mm.
And by choosing, I mean being able to separate from adapting to something that is harmful, let's say, to us, which can
Yeah.
be a relationship, a movement,
Yeah,
a
anything.
posture, a food, uh, whatever, a mattress.
Mm.
A thought.
And, you know, like really use this innate skill that we have to take the right path for us. And again, the right path can change at any point every day, but being there present in the moment, that's how it can, I believe, I think we
We
believe,
believe,
if you
yes.
agree,
Mhm.
is the way we can use adaptability to our advantage.
Mm. So it sounds like one of the, so you're kind of identifying that developing choice is a really good, so like we are innately adaptable as human beings, and that makes us susceptible to developing good habits as well as bad habits, you know.
Definitely.
Definitely, yes.
And what it sounds to me like you're saying is that getting to know yourself in such a way that you are able to make clearer choices about what's a good um, habit or adaptation um, is a good thing for your life in general, you know, the overall path of your life. It also
Yeah.
sounds it also sounds like that developing a prerequisite to developing that level of choice is developing more sensitivity to yourself.
For
So I don't
sure.
know if maybe you guys could say something a little bit about that.
Oh, you started very much
Okay.
convinced, so
But
you go.
I was thinking that, I mean, maybe we say it in our way, but it's nothing new for the Feldenkrais world. I
Mm,
think there are some concepts that Moshe was saying 60 years ago.
Yeah.
The importance of having at least three choice to actually be able to choose what you want. And through movement, it's a great beginning, something that it's really there. You can feel it, you can sense it, you can look at it, and it allows you to be there, perceive, and to start understanding how do you feel, how do you work, how do you sense yourself, and how to make a choice if it's something that it fits with you, if it makes you feels good. Where are your limits? Where are your horizons?
Yeah, and I think talking about sensitivity to ourselves, to our inner self, to the outer world, to anything, being sensitive is also very much connected to the idea of choice as something that isn't fixed. So this is one of the biggest things that Feldenkrais taught me, is that once you make a choice, that's not final. So being sensitive for me is not only being able to recognize what's good for me in that moment, but also recognize when that thing is not good anymore. So again, if we have choices and we realize that the one we made maybe 2 minutes ago or 20 years ago is not good anymore, we're able to change.
Yeah.
So that's adaptability and sensitivity together.
Nice.
You realize something you're doing is not good for you. Maybe it has been wrong for years. It doesn't matter. The moment you realize, you can start changing it.
It frees you up.
But if you don't feel it, if you don't feel that you're sitting with all your weight on your left sit bone, or you don't feel that you can't turn your head without your whole chest, then you won't change it. And you will adapt to move that way, only that way.
Yeah. No, that's a really nice connection. So then how could you describe how you get from the obvious benefits of being able to adapt to previous choices, the the process of getting to know yourself and developing sensitivity, and how that kind of lends itself or heads in the direction of the Feldenkrais method giving you the tools to change, to change previous decisions or to change what you're doing in the moment, depending on your particular needs or your sense of what's right for you. Like, what is it about the Feldenkrais method that provides the potential for change?
Well, I think something really important that brought me to the Feldenkrais method is curiosity. Curiosity about being alive, curiosity of getting to know this, the world, the reality. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why it's there. I don't know why I'm here, but I know it's here. So I'm curious to get to know everything. And about the tools, something that pop up into my mind when you said it, it's the slowing down of the Feldenkrais method in ATM and in FI. And I think it's really something not popular in these times. World is going really fast. So slowing down, allowing yourself to take some time away from your routine, your work, your life, your doing, and sense yourself. It's a great beginning to getting deeper with knowing yourself and know how to improve, how to change, how to become more you and use yourself in a way that you feel better for you.
For me, being born within the Feldenkrais mindset, sometimes I must admit, I don't really know how I can feel myself quite well, because it's not because I want to brag about it, but while sharing with my Feldenkrais mates during the training, while sharing with Stefano or other students that I'm now studying with or mentoring in other trainings, sometimes I do realize that probably feeling myself is a bit of a habit for me, a good one. So I'm happy about it. But sometimes I'm not sure how I got there. And this is on a physical level. So for me, thinking of the tools that I'm still getting, and sometimes I still struggle to get, thanks to the Feldenkrais method, I'm thinking more on a mental and psychological level, because most of the times the limitations that I find myself facing are not in my body, but more in my way of thinking. So Stefano mentioned the slowing down, and that's not just for movement. That's not just because ATMs are slow. And with Feldenkrais, you're not looking to perform or to do big movements. I'm thinking more of realizing what's there. So where you are in any part of you, thinking, feeling, sensing, moving, accepting it, and recognizing what, like, the potential that is there. So for me, again, it connects to the ability to change my mind, to change the way I see myself. I think, yeah, that's one of the most amazing tools that the Feldenkrais method is and the movement practice are giving me. The possibility to change the way I see myself, the way I think about myself. And that's a complete shift in how you function in the world, because you're not that person. You know, I'm not the one who doesn't like strawberry ice cream. I'm not the one who cannot do a roll. I am Agnese, and I can be almost anything I want. I can adapt to anything. I can learn to do anything. So yeah, the possibility.
Okay. So, I mean, you've obviously talked about a couple of things there. I want to kind of explore a little bit about how you guys are seeing the interrelationship between people in relation to some of those ideas. So, you presented or you've got like workshops where you work with partners, not necessarily romantic partners, but people in contact with each other. Obviously, people could come if they're romantically involved with each other, but it's not, specifically for that group. So you talk a little bit about that workshop in relation to developing adaptability, or even connecting some of these ideas that you've just discussed with partner work. So I'd like to kind of, if we can, just like explore that a little bit. Maybe you guys can tell me about, why working with someone else can deepen some of the ideas that you've already mentioned in relation to change, slowing down, curiosity. Like, what is it about partner work that, really helps that process?
That's a big topic.
That's a big topic. Yes, let's try to go slow and
Okay.
I see partner work as an interaction that will we can do it like in our classes or in our workshop. We do it all the time. There are some practice that by yourself, sensing yourself in yourself, doing something, getting to know how you do it, trying to improve it, trying to change it.
Yeah.
But then at some time there is always touch with the other person. Look, if we are various people, we don't allow, let's say, people to work always with one person, but we want to change, to have different ways of feeling. different way of sensing. Every person is a different input, let's say. It's a different stimuli, stimulus, and we love that. Like, I think that humans are born with an innate way of understanding and learning. We are not like animals. We cannot, after a couple of minutes, stand on our legs and just go. But we need other person around us to take care of us, to show us something, to be looked at. So in our classes, we use that kind of things. We use the person that are more experienced to work with the person that is a newcomer and care what he knows. Try to help the other person. And sometimes the newcomer, because he thinks in a different way, can help the experienced practitioner, because the experienced practitioner is locked in his way of thinking, and the newcomer think in a different way and test the other person. So it's never experienced practitioner that teach or help the newcomer, but it can be both ways. And it's something that I see constantly. I see it with myself. We encourage also our students to ask questions, like test ourselves. And why is that? Why you said so? And our mind is like all the time like, okay, why I said so? I know it, but from another point of view, I get another stimulus and I get to think about it again and process it and say it again. It's a never-ending process.
Yeah, I think for me, as Stefano was saying, when we're born, we don't know anything. We have very little instinct. We normally are able to suck on our mom's breast, and some children they haven't even got that. So we really have to learn everything from scratch, and we don't learn by ourselves. We wouldn't be able to actually stand on our feet. We wouldn't be able to do anything without others. And that's from the very beginning. From the very young age, we are in contact with our parents, hopefully, with someone taking care of us. And then we gradually become more and more independent, but still we wouldn't be able to speak, communicate. We wouldn't be able to function in the world if it wasn't for human contact.
Yeah.
You know, like if we think about the what's the name in English? Is it the Book of the Jungle?
Yeah.
Or you know, Tarzan?
Yeah, Jungle Book.
Jungle, yeah.
The jungle.
You know, those stories, they are children's story, but you know, you can really see an example of what would happen if a person was growing up without other people around. And I mean, I love animals, and I'm definitely not saying that one is better than the other, but it's, you know, interaction is something that is becoming less and less common, less and less appreciated in the modern age, I feel, but it's something we wouldn't be able to survive without.
Yeah.
So the way we see partner work is an interaction, and it's in order to receive stimuli, to talk, to move, to think in relation to people who are different from us. So the same subject, the same idea, the same movement will be different for two people.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible value, because if we're not in contact with different people, we wouldn't be able to evolve. You know, if I went up that mountain and spent 20 years on top of that mountain, I would come up and be the exact same person that I am now. And luckily I start from a decent base. But you know, I would be stuck in myself, in my situation, because I wouldn't have any external stimuli. So
very cute.
yeah, of course, nature is a constant stimulus. Hot weather, cold weather, wind, loud noises, that's stimuli, but it's not an interaction.
Yeah.
It's something that we can adapt to and with, but it's not an interaction. So people, human contact, touching each other, moving with each other, being able to observe movement in other people,
Yeah.
it's really, it has a great value. And I don't think neither of us we could see the evolution of our movement practice if it wasn't in relation to other people.
Yeah.
And this is not to take away at all the value of self-development, self-education, self-regulation.
Oh,
But
and
if,
ATM.
oh, of course. But if on top of that, if together with that, we don't take the next step, we don't take it into the world,
Yeah.
which means people, it's quite pointless.
Yeah.
Feeling yourself in order to do what? To stay on the mat? Oh, you have your life, you have work, shopping, driving a car together with other people in other cars.
Yeah.
Having a stroll in the town center and eating an ice cream. That's interactions, whether we know it or not. Whether we treat other people the way we would like to be treated, that's a whole other matter.
Yeah.
But human contact is what we need to live.
Yeah, and to make a short example, to do something really easy in the way we practice with another person, we do a simple task, whatever can be, and we have a flexible person, a really mobile person, and a strong person. They will touch each other in ways that are different, and they will help each other to understand what they miss, what they need, how they can change, where are their limits. So touching each other, it's really important, especially if we are different.
Yeah.
And we are many people in the world, so
I'm very
lots of combination and possibilities.
I'm very tempted to like geek out a little bit, but I don't want to kind of lose the audience. But the the learning process in Feldenkrais, often one of the ways that we use our attention is with differentiation between two separate things. So we've got a movement and we compare the feeling with one leg than the other. For example, we do just a lesson with one side and we feel that movement on one side and then we compare it with the other. And that differentiation process helps to, in the part of the process, towards developing skill. When you can differentiate this from that, you can build a more complex movement pattern than if you can't differentiate this from that. So from that perspective, what it sounds like is you're adding another layer onto that concept to do with differentiation of the other, which I think is a really, really cool idea. But if I'm understanding what you guys are talking about well, that lends itself to developing skill interpersonally as well. So I don't know, maybe if you have some ideas on that, or if I'm completely off base, to
Oh,
feel
Can
free
you
to
can you
tell.
just clarify on what you mean by developing a skill interpersonally? Are you thinking of like actual movement skills or?
So I guess when you're working with someone else, that I mean, again, this is yeah, I'm talking to you guys about this, so I've not done this workshop with you. I would like to, but I haven't. Um, when you're working with someone else, there is opportunity, as you said, to see the differences between people and to learn
Mhm.
from those differences. So someone having a different perspective or a different way of holding themselves or a different ability even can inform you. Um, I guess I'm going from there to um, it informing you about how you interact with people in your day-to-day life as well.
oh
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
So that I guess it's like ATM practice is developing self-awareness. And then there is this kind of like limbo or in between place where you're practicing your interpersonal awareness through movement. Um, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's clear.
yeah.
Yeah. It's clear. It's like probably scaling down the difficult we can encounter in life that are stimulus on a bigger layer, on a different scale. And in our classes, in our workshop, in every interaction, we we have like a possibility to test ourselves, to see what we can do, to because a person giving me a point that I have to touch with my foot, I don't know if I can get there.
Mm,
I don't know how. I need to try, sense myself, feel I can go there, touch the other person's hand and say, okay, I can do this. And it's a it's a way to sense yourself, but in relation with what is around yourself.
mm,
And the partner is someone that allows you that in a, let's say, in a kind way.
mm,
It's difficult to see people interact with each other in a bad way, in a movement practice, in a movement class, or in a workshop.
mm,
There is always this, uh, we want to have fun together, and through play, through it's something innate. Animals learn through play. We as human, we learn through play,
mm,
and adults can learn through play, to play with each other, to test each other, and sometimes having just fun. Oh, can you reach here behind your head? Yes, you can. Have you ever thought that you can actually look behind yourself and reach there? Try it
mm,
and fail, maybe. Who knows? But learn something from your failure.
mm,
Yeah, connecting to what Stefano is saying is always really beautiful at the end of a class or at the end of a workshop to see how people interact differently. So, at the beginning, especially during workshops, many people don't know each other. And maybe
mm,
there's people who are 70 years old, and then there's a 22 years old, very muscly guy, there's very different kinds of people. And at the beginning, everyone is a bit shy and, I don't know you. Maybe I don't work with you because you're too strong. Or maybe, yeah, I don't work with that lady. She's too old for me. But
mm,
then through movement and through interaction is amazing to see how much people change their way to relate to each other
mm,
and to relate to themselves, because the way you get in touch with another person reflects how you
mm.
feel with yourself.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's really beautiful. And also thinking back to your question, um, I think it's everything is very much connected with possibility. So being in an interaction, it opens up possibilities that you weren't thinking of, or maybe you were thinking of and you thought they were not for you at all. And that's a huge value of the Feldenkrais method, but practicing with other people. And by practicing I mean moving, because that's
Mm,
that's the way we express ourselves in life, in the world. um so yeah, taking that self-awareness, that self-perception into a relation, a communication with another person, it it lightens up another point of view
Mhm.
mm,
about movement, but about life, and you can start to understand what's good for you, because you might get in touch with people who give you examples that you don't really relate to, like, no, that's not really for me. But
mm,
then maybe, the muscly stiff guy who works with a very mobile person, he would go like, oh, people can do that.
mm,
Without all the
So
muscles.
maybe I can too. So again, you differentiate between what's good for you, what doesn't really look like good for you, um, what doesn't look good, but you try and you realize it's actually, okay, something I might try.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
possibility, and as Stefano was saying, it's very small challenges in a safe environment that
Mm.
open up something,
Yeah.
which doesn't stay in the movement class normally. It normally guides people towards a shift in something bigger,
Yeah.
without wanting to be gurus or anything like that. But
Yeah.
when you move, something moves with you.
Yeah, and the magic is inside of us, all
Mm.
of us.
Mm.
Yeah.
I hope
Stefano,
I hope we
you,
kind
oh
of
yeah,
answered.
totally did. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I
okay.
got questions off the back of it. Stefano, you mentioned play there, and um, just the idea that occurs to me is that if you look in nature and you see two animals that are to preparing to be adults at some point, let's say they're lions and they want to go hunting, they practice with each other in a playful way, right? But they're
Yes.
practicing the skills that they need to at some point. And I think that how it sounds to me is that the partner work provides a safe place for experimentation,
Yes.
and bouncing ideas off each other you know, that lends itself to us getting to know ourselves more as well. So it sounds really good.
Yes, it is, and it feels
It
good.
is
Um,
definitely. No, being playful, not being, feeling free to try, make mistakes, not succeeding. Stefano mentioned the game that we often play and have people playing is, from a specific position that can be a squat or standing, anything. One person asks you to reach their hand, which is in a specific point in space.
mm,
And, it's so beautiful to see how people allow themselves to make mistakes, to not get to the hand and laugh about it.
mm,
So there is neither the excessive trying to help the other person, so you don't get with your hand to the person so that they can be good. No, let them be bad.
Hmm?
And maybe they find out they're not actually bad, they're good.
mm,
But the whole thing is while you laugh about it. And you don't laugh about yourself being bad. You
mm,
just laugh about giving the chance to try. You either succeed or don't. Who cares? It's
mm,
just reaching a hand. And this is something that for me is really important because I kind to I tend to be quite strict with myself, like I should be that. I should be able to get to that movement or that objective. And slowly, gradually, um I'm learning how to be more accepting of
mm.
myself. That's the hardest part for me. Accepting others is easy for me, but be observing other people playing like this, playing with other people
Mm,
is really softening this part of me down quite effectively.
mm.
And it's beautiful because again, if it was just me, I would still be in that same
Yeah,
pattern of, yeah, rigidity, and you have to be good and
mm.
all that. So
It's interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The comparison kind of reflects something, so that
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And it
As you,
also teaches you, like, I can be good with this person, not because I force myself to be good, but because I enjoy being good with this person. So I
mm,
can slowly learn how to do it with myself.
mm, yeah. It just occurred to me as you guys were talking about it. I don't know if you've ever heard someone that has like a very negative voice. that they speak to themselves with. It struck
Yes.
me, like whenever I hear it, my ears prick up a little bit, and I'm like, how can you speak to yourself like that? But that same person, when they're speaking with someone else, could be the most caring and attentive and loving person. But when they're speaking to themselves, they have completely different voice. It's like done with a completely different attitude. And sometimes the reflection back from another person can like inform that person that the way that they're speaking to themselves is not that nice.
Mhm.
And they wouldn't have that experience without the contrast.
Without.
You know? I don't know if that
Have you
makes
been
sense.
spying on us or something? It's no, it's. I mean, I must admit, I must admit, I am that person.
Mm,
I do have different voices when I speak to myself and when I
mm,
speak to others.
mm,
And Moshe used to say, if you can't be kind to yourself, you can't be kind to others.
mm.
That I don't agree with. I mean, it probably depends on how bad you are with yourself, but
Mm,
you know, where when you said when someone from the outside gives you a feedback about how you're talking to yourself,
mm,
I very much think of Stefan and I,
mm,
because it's also thanks to the interaction we have between us
mm.
as partners in life, as partners in practice, as partner in work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm I'm getting to realize more and more every moment in which I do that switch.
Mm,
I enter that mindset of, no, you're not good enough, or simply not being kind to myself.
mm,
And that's, you know,
mm.
it has a huge value for me
Yeah.
because I'm slowly realizing that's the only way I can progress forward. If you beat yourself up all the time, it's really hard to improve. I
Mm,
mean, you can improve, but anytime you get somewhere, you're still not good enough. You're already thinking of the next step. You
mm.
can't celebrate your win. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you see it from your
No,
side.
no, for sure. And I can relate it to something that we learn in the training of the Feldenkrais method,
Mm,
to the unnecessary effort. If you try to run your car, but you have the handbrake on, it will be difficult. And the handbrake sometimes is not a necessary effort. Is a thought of the mind, is the voice you talk to yourself, can be
mm,
anything, an emotion, anything.
mm. Yeah, it's a nice way of putting it. And I love that you shared that. And it really to me cements this idea that um the connection that we are connected and working with our sense of self in connection with the other has a real value to it. So I love that you brought that up and talked about yourself in that way. It's really I think for me it it gives people something to connect with, because people are going to have these experiences themselves, and they're going to have thoughts about themselves, and they're going to have thoughts about what they can do, what they can't do, and working with another, it sounds like gives them um some there we go, some adaptability in relation to how they
Go back
Let's go.
in how they deal with themselves, which I think is really nice. So
it is. I
It
mean,
is.
from my point of view, the self-beating up person, sometimes there's this idea that we should be able to fix ourselves up by ourselves.
mm,
So like being your own coach, all these things, they kind of lead back to the self beating up, because if you
mm,
don't succeed, then you're still bad. And what the Feldenkrais method and sharing the movement practice with other people is giving me is, again, the ability to accept that maybe in that specific moment I'm not able to let go of that voice. And it's still fine, you know. It's hard because it's not nice to hear yourself talking so badly to yourself, but that's how I function most of the times. Okay, let's accept it. Right now I still don't manage to get out of that mindset, but I know I can. And I have someone from the outside reminding me that.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, yeah, it is. And
knowing it's like this.
And knowing that you're not alone, whatever situation you have, it can be self-beating up, it can be food addiction or a movement that you really struggle with, but you want to get there. You know, it's never just you having to get there. It's never just you experiencing that situation. There's always someone you can relate with, you can talk to, you can differentiate from. So, yeah.
Great. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot there. Hopefully it was an interesting conversation for people. If
We hope
I
people
mean,
so.
it was for us,
Yeah.
you know, all the inputs and the questions that you asked,
Mm,
they kind of made us think.
Yeah,
And
for
yeah,
sure.
it's another example of how we can grow and develop thanks to other people, with other people, because, you know, we talk about our practice and how we feel quite a lot, but this is a different situation. You know, it's
yeah,
someone from the outside who doesn't know us, doesn't know what we do, how we work,
yeah.
asking questions about what we do and what we are.
Mm.
So
We are adapting to it.
yeah, it's a brilliant way to
Thank
get to
you
know
too.
ourselves better.
Yeah, great. Yeah. If people want to get in touch with you guys, for example, if you have any workshops online about this subject, about partner work that you're planning on doing in the future, and they're interested, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
I would say the best way is to go to our website. Do you
Mhm.
still say
Yes. Well, we will
www.movementsearcher.com?
provide a link as well, but just give people yeah.
Yeah, our project, which is our movement project and life project, it is called Movement Searcher. And yeah, you can find it online, movementsearcher.com.
Instagram.
Oh yeah, fair enough. We're very bad with social media, but
But we are trying to.
we're better with in-person communication.
Yeah.
But yeah, same movement searcher on Instagram or our
Our
name.
names.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, I don't know if you have anything else to share before we wrap up.
That was a pleasure.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, same.
And no, I mean, right now my thoughts, my mind is running at a high level, but no, I think
Let's slow down.
I think we already gave a lot of inputs and received a lot, so let's stay here for now.
It'll be boring.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you both.